Hey guys, I'm going to try to keep this review to this out-of-box impression. This is not a full review. A full review will have a sound demo for your listening pleasure, which is going to come out within the week or two. So stay tuned for that. But this is just a 5-minute impression of these 8XX headphones from Drop. Now, Sennheiser partnered with Drop to make these, and Drop is not actually in charge of manufacturing at all. So if there's any concern anyone has that this is not the actual Sennheiser produced quality thing and made in Germany, no. It's made in Germany by Sennheiser, and Drop is simply partnering with them as a vendor to try to sell a lot more of these units, maybe in mass production. That's kind of like what Drop does. And in that mass production, there's usually a discount and sometimes some tweaks to the actual build, color, or sound. In this case, we got the Drop Blue, very dark blue, almost the same, identical to the 800S Black inner ring. And otherwise, it's black all around. It's the same exact materials. It's like Sennheiser just said, we're going to make the same exact thing, except now we're partnering with Drop. But not really. As some reviewers have pointed out, there is something different in the 8XX. They put some little pieces of materials inside the driver, which I'm not going to open up because I don't want to open up these things. I have a thing about opening up headphones, especially new ones that I'm reviewing. I'm trying to give out-of-box impressions, and I don't want to take them apart and risk changing how they sound or anything like that. Mostly because I just don't trust myself putting it back together all the time and not changing something. I'm just afraid of doing it. But what's actually different about these small tweaks they made in the 8XX? What are they the same headphone, but for cheaper? The answer is no. They are not the same headphone. In fact, the tweaks they made them so different in terms of how you're going to feel when you listen to your music. I mean, we can talk about, hey, the frequency graph shows exactly this many dB higher at this range and all. People do that, and some reviewers have that style. My style is just to tell you how they feel, how they sound, what's the overall experience. And I can try to point a little bit at technicals to help me articulate what I'm saying. But the big point of this, the big difference, the big takeaway, is that the 8XX in my left hand are warmer. If I can sum it all up, they are warmer. That is, the treble's reduced somewhere in some areas enough. The mids are different. Something is different. I even looked at the graph because I'm just going to tell you what I heard with my own ears. The 800S is bright. It's forward. It's exciting. It's lively. That's the 800S in my right hand that I just said. The 8XX, because of only small little tweaks inside what's happening inside the cup here, wow, suddenly, instead of being exciting and lively, it's laid back, jazzy, if you will. And at first, to be honest, because I love, the 800S are one of my favorite headphones of all time because of their excitement. For some people, it's too exciting. It's too lively to the point where it's shrill. Consonants can sound a little harsh. And to be honest, when I went to the 8XX, which was Drop's attempt to kind of please the masses the people who have been turned off by that brightness, have been voicing that concern for a long time. I don't know if you guys know the history, but people have said for a long time, the people who didn't want to stick with these, who bought them and tried them, who sold them, or who just didn't buy them altogether because of what other people said. A long time has it been said that the 800S are too shrill for some people. And that scared people. So Drop listened to that community. Drop honestly it seems to be made of people who know about this stuff like we do in the community, who think about these things like we do, who think, I don't know what's worth buying and why not. And they took that shrill and they tampered it down with some tweaks. But it changes the headphones so, I can't understate this, so much. It is not an 800 series to my ears. It is a completely different taste of what listening to music is. And I really didn't like it at first because happen to be lucky enough to be one of the people who love the bright signature of the Sennheiser HD800S, where the shrill spots aren't shrill enough to take away my enjoyment and in fact add to the excitement. So when these are an S class for me, not just an 800S in terms of model number, but an S ranked thing, I really treasure these highly. And the 8XX, I put it on and I try some music. I try the Hurt cover that I have in my reference playlist. See the description. I tried Nine Inch Nails. I tried Dead Letter Circus. I tried all my favorite things. And I was like, where's the excitement? Where's the vocals that pop and shine? Where's that crystal clear string? You don't get that. And I was like, I don't know if I can recommend this. I was almost on very first impression, I was like, is this a C rank thing? But then I listened to it more. I put on some other tracks that I thought, you know what? Let's see where else this is going. Let's put on some jazz. Let's try some wind instruments. You know, something that is inherently relaxing. And I put those wind instruments on, and I was like, yeah, I dig that. That's nice, actually. I tried some loud orchestral symphony stuff, and then I went back and forth again between the two, and I was like, I go back to the brighter for that because I like the exciting. But then I go back to some soft jazz. I'm like, oh my goodness, I love this. This is really nice. I can sit back with these all day and listen to these. There's no harsh spots. I go onto some tracks that are maybe a little more busy, some hard rock, and I'm thinking, okay, wow, the 800S is beautiful, but there are some like consonant sounds coming from some vocalists, especially Dead Letter Circus, the track in my reference list if you want to check it, had some shrill spots. But then the 8XX completely tempered those down. It made it relaxing. I wouldn't say it's better because of being relaxed. It's just very different. I would say for my taste, I would say the 800S is better for getting that excitement out of the vocalists, the strings. I do still prefer the 800S out of box because I like excitement. But I really think this could be somebody's favorite. I think the 8XX has an audience. I think it just needs to be waiting to be discovered. Anyway, guys, I'm going to give you some more in-depth reviews and commentary about these. I'm going to have sound demos of both of them recorded and played back and forth so you can make a better buyer's decision in an upcoming review. So please like and subscribe and stay tuned for that. Have a wonderful weekend and enjoy your day. Bye.